And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning in to the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No. I am your host. Write down our telephone number. You're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. And the stuff just keeps pouring in here. Jesus. This story from the CBS website. This story from CBSNews.com. The title is Short-Term Loans Can Mean Lasting Trouble. And here is the story. In the current state of the economy, about 2,600 Americans a day, 2,600 a day, file for bankruptcy. Others are turning to a financial quick fix called payday loans. They've now grown into a $59 billion industry. $59 billion. But 6 states, Arkansas, Georgia, New Hampshire, North Carolina, Ohio, and Oregon, as well as the District of Columbia, have now effectively banned these loans. Did you know this? It says here, today there are 24,000 payday lending stores in America, more than Starbucks and McDonald's combined. They provide 19 million American households a quick way to make ends meet. Please borrow only what you feel comfortable paying back, says a video by the lending industry. A typical customer takes out about 8 payday loans a year, in essence in advance on their paycheck, with rates as high as 20%. For lower and middle class families with a few financial options, such loans, even at that price, are a godsend. But folks like Mary Bates now see something else, a short-term solution turned long-term trap. An endless cycle, a dead end, Bates said. I would advise anyone not to. For Bates, it all began with a $400 payday loan, plus $70 interest to fix her car. But after paying it off 2 weeks later, she couldn't afford to live on what was left. So, what'd she do? Took out another payday loan, starting a 2-year cycle with a variety of payday lenders that ended up costing the single mother of 2 what she says was more than $1,500 in interest to essentially float a $400 loan. So, she says they are set for people like me that live payday to payday. And then, once you're in there, you can't get out, she said. Terrence Gent, one of 8 former industry employees who spoke with CBS, said 15 to 20 minutes, you can walk out with cash in hand. A former regional manager, Gent says payday lenders train their workers to set hooks, incentives that you offer to customers to get them to become repeat borrowers, essentially, Gent said. Like take out 5 loans, get the 6th one free. What's wrong with that? or offering cash to managers of low-income buildings to refer desperate tenants. Again, if a business is legal, what's wrong with marketing the product? And it says here, and this document, obtained by CBS News, reveals that among the targets for at least one payday lender are, quote, single-parent households with multiple children who are, quote, financially stressed. Again, if you have a product and it's legal, you should be able to target anyone you like, right? Jen said we had people all the time that would come in and take out a loan to pay their retainer fee on their lawyers to file bankruptcy. Looking at the industry's own website, we discovered, this is CBS saying we discovered that two of the customers' profile there actually declared bankruptcy, partly due to multiple loans from payday lenders. Lindsay Metzger, a spokesperson for the Community Financial Services Association, said, the service is very transparent. There's no fine print. There's no hidden fees. CBS asked, did you also know that two other people on your website have subsequently declared bankruptcy, and they listed payday lenders as part of the reason they were pushed over the edge? Metzger said, but I think you'd find that payday lenders would be a small percentage of whatever debt people have when they do declare bankruptcy. It's not the loan. It's the interest on the loan, says CBS, that we're talking about. Metzger said, what happens without the option of taking on a payday loan? Is it better off if they bounce a check? What would you recommend that these people do? Mary Bates, that's the woman they talked about earlier in the story, knows full well what she will do next time she's in a bind. She said, I would do without electricity, water, whatever it would take until the next payday, until I could pay. I would not do it. It's a long-term lesson about instant cash. Bates hopes others won't learn the hard way. Now, I think payday loans are stupid, and I think if you take a payday loan out, you're really stupid. Let's just start with that. But that doesn't mean that the business shouldn't be allowed to operate. Many products are sold to people who are just plain stupid. And frankly, I'm tired of the government being a nanny and telling people what they can and can't do, should or shouldn't do, what's in their own best interest or not. I'm tired of it. If someone wants to be a moron and borrow at rates of 2 and 3 and 400% interest because they're too stupid to do the math, or they're too stupid to read the fine print, it isn't even that fine. If you're too stupid to do that, I don't see why we should protect stupid people from themselves. I think payday loans are stupid, but they're legal, and I think that if people want to be stupid and want to use a payday loan service, I don't see why we should get in the way. Do you see why we should get in the way?
1-800-Leykis-TOM. 5-800-TOM. Leykis. 866. Tom Leykis.
It's the Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Payday loans, baby. If you use one, you're an idiot. You're a moron. You're a deadbeat. That's what you are. Edie is listening to our online stream in Lacey, Washington on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Edie.
You know what? I agree with you. One, yeah, I'm a current customer, embarrassing as it is, but I also worked for the #1 company of payday advances for 5 years, so I should know better. And when you're talking about the government having to dictate and babysit, you're right, because you know what? Military people are forbidden by federal law to take a payday loan because the government feels the need to babysit for everyone.
I don't believe in that. I think that if people want to do something stupid with their money, whether it be, buy an Irish sweepstakes ticket or invest in a penny stock or try to buy an apartment and flip it,
Absolutely.
we should be getting involved.
I mean, there wouldn't be people falling for internet scams if there weren't stupid people out there falling for them. They wouldn't have them if they didn't fall for them. It's supply and demand.
The average person is too lazy to figure out the interest rate on a credit card, much less a payday loan.
Absolutely. And if you look at it, they will give you an annual percentage rate and tell you you are paying 200+% if you were to take this on a yearly basis. And people don't look at that. They look at, for $40, I can get 200. Yeah. And it's not that easy. And it's a vicious cycle that you'll never get out of, ever.
Edie, how did you fall so far?
Because I went through a divorce and had to move into a place because I got kicked out of my house and I needed the money and it was the only way I could do it.
Why was your credit so lousy?
Because I'm a loser.
All right, I'll buy in.
You know, I mean, the marriage lost a house in it because of the divorce and you had to do it somehow.
All a payday loan is doing is delaying the inevitable. You're going to file for bankruptcy, just not today.
Actually, the good thing about it is they do have a federal law where you can put it yourself on a payment plan. They have to, by law, honor it. So after I do it one more time, I go on a payment plan and I'm done. And that's what I considered when I took it. But most people don't know that because they won't tell you that because they stand to lose money.
But you're still going to pay all that interest.
Absolutely. And you get into a cycle and then the fees get higher and you take more and then your fees get higher and then you take another loan to pay off this loan and you end up having them all over town. And that's what they love about it.
Yeah, well, of course.
So hopefully all the people out there listening with them, read your contract, get on the payment plan, don't give them no more of your money.
Edie, thank you for that. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. It's Ryan on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
I'm okay.
All right, right on. Hey, I don't necessarily agree with like how you say that, if these people want to be stupid, that, let the credit card company take advantage of them. I don't think it's right that smart people...
No, actually, I said if people want to be stupid and take out a payday loan.
Okay.
Why shouldn't they be able to do that?
Well, I think they should be able to do that, but I think these payday loans, the way they charge with interest, it's ridiculous, and they should be fair. It's okay to charge interest.
What's fair?
What's fair? Not charging the 20%.
You have every right not to take that loan.
Right. That would be smart for them not to do, but they're going to do it. People put themselves in predicaments where they have no other.
And by the way, since you pay the interest up, don't you pay the interest up front? It's built into the amount you borrow. If you borrow $200 and it's a $40 interest, they give you $160, right?
Yeah, right.
So you know how much you pay. You're paying 12.5% right off the top, and on an annualized basis, it's in the hundreds of percent. I mean, you know what you're paying. You're too lazy to look at it or deal with it.
I just think it's morally wrong that they do that to people and take advantage of them.
Well, just because you think it's morally wrong doesn't mean it should be illegal.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's of course, and
I don't think the government should be getting involved in that.
I think it should.
Why?
Why? Because we pay taxes that nobody really can understand or explain why we pay these taxes entirely. We forfeit some of that to them out of our checks.
Hire an accountant.
I'm sorry?
Hire an accountant.
Hire an accountant?
Yes.
And what if somebody can't afford an accountant?
Well, people who can't afford accountants don't pay taxes.
Not always.
Well, right, because if they're wasting their money on buying a lot of stupid crap that they don't need, well, maybe then they can't afford an accountant, but then why should we be bailing them out?
I don't think the government should be bailing them out. I think that the interest rate should be lowered. It's
why?
Raping people.
Well,
Why?
You say it's raping people. The average fast food place, it costs about 3 cents to sell a Coca-Cola for $1.69. Should the price be fairer? Should the government interfere in that?
I think they should.
Really? So you don't want a free enterprise system. You want a socialist system? You want a system like they have in Cuba?
Right. I do. I don't mind.
So you're a socialist?
I'm still deciding where I'm at politically in that range, but yes, it does lean more towards the socialist side.
By the way, how well is that working out for the countries that have tried it?
How well is it working out? Well,
yeah,
the truth.
Like, you remember a country called the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics? Ever heard of that?
Oh, I remember. All right, of course.
How'd that work out?
It didn't work out too good.
Right. Can you name a country where it worked out well?
Let's see. Where did it work out well? It seemed to work out okay in Vietnam until we jumped in. And
socialism was working in Vietnam?
I'm sorry. No, that's communism. How about Canada?
Son, don't pull it out of your ass. Canada is not a 100% socialist country. But don't be pulling it out of your ass. You're in over your head now.
Hey, okay, you got me there.
Damn straight I have you.
That's fine. I have a question, Tom. I don't understand. I remember this was a few months ago. You were talking about Bob Dylan and how he's a capitalist and you support capitalism.
I do.
And I think capitalism, it's not perfect. It has its advantages, its disadvantages. But I don't understand how anybody can really logically, and I think you're a pretty logical guy, how you can logically totally support this system that does exploit people, that does make profit over people by taking advantage.
Because at the very core of it, people have no vested interest in pitching in and helping you in any way. Everybody looks out for himself, with the occasional Mother Teresa who comes along. People look out for themselves. Mm-hmm. And if people look out for themselves, communism and socialism cannot work.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just thinking right now. But do you see what I'm saying? I don't see how it's okay though to exploit people.
Well, again, they volunteer for being exploited. Slavery is illegal. It's forbidden by the Constitution, and of course, that was the right thing to do, to have a constitutional amendment that banned slavery. And that amendment was passed in 1865, and it was the exact right thing to do. Mm-hmm. Nobody is forced to be a slave to anybody. So if you're being exploited, it's because you signed up for it, son.
I think in a sense, though, people are being forced to be exploited and to be, quote-unquote, slaves to the system.
How?
Because, well, they might not be slaves in the sense they're being whipped with a cane or with a whip, but they're being charged. It's like this. I'll work for a company, right, that now will pay me $8 an hour because that's the law. But a year ago it was $7.75. If the law didn't change to $8 an hour, it still would have been at $7.75. And yes, it is my choice to work.
But there. One way you can make more money?
How?
Get another job.
That's true. You could always do that.
Do you think I care what the minimum wage is?
No, I don't think you really care about much except for yourself.
Well, the only people who care, honestly, the only people who earn the minimum wage are students and losers.
Mm-hmm.
What college did you attend, son?
I'm sorry?
What college did you attend?
I went to Mount Sac. It's a junior college.
So it's a community college?
Yeah.
I see. And why did you not attend, like, a real university?
Well, I didn't do so hot in high school. And
why not? Why didn't you do so hot in high school? Let me guess. Smoking weed, partying, hanging out, doing nothing, right?
Yeah. But then
right.
I decided...
So now the rest of the country should get together and prop you up?
No, I don't think they should at all.
You sat on your ass. Why should I help you?
Right. I agree. But
you will be as successful as your willingness to work, and you're not willing to work.
Right, and you got me back then. But I think that at the same time that nobody should be helping me out, they shouldn't be taking advantage of people like this either. The government, the credit card company.
You allowed yourself to be taken advantage of.
You're right.
You did it. Take responsibility. That was you who did that.
And
have you heard me say this on the air? I don't know how often you listen or for how long. Have you heard me say on this program, please knock up your girlfriend, all you high school students out there, because in the future, I need somebody to mow my lawn.
Yeah, I've heard you say that before.
Do you understand the connection between you smoking weed in high school and getting lousy grades and the fact that now somebody will only pay you $8 an hour to work?
Absolutely.
You did it. You did it. Not them. You.
Well, I did that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I should be taken advantage of still.
Well, yes, it does.
I disagree right there.
Well, you have every right to go back to school, improve your lot in life, graduate from a real university. You have every right to do that.
And that's another thing. Real universities, I've been educating myself over these past few years because college didn't do it for me. So I've been traveling.
Because you went to a community college. You attended the 13th grade, for Christ's sake.
Right. And it's...
Whose fault is it that you attended a substandard college?
That
was your fault, wasn't it?
I'm sure you could argue that. Sure, it's my fault.
No, it's not that I could argue it. Who put the joint in your mouth, son? Who lit the bong for you? That's right. It was you.
I did, and a couple of my friends did.
No, they didn't make you do it.
One of them did, and I enjoyed it.
He made you do it. He put a gun to your head? He put a gun to your head and said, smoke weed, Ryan, right now.
No, he didn't put a gun to my head. He just said, hey, here, I'm going to light this for you. And I said, all right, let's do it, brother.
And now we shouldn't be able to pay you $8 an hour. You're not worth more than $8 an hour. You're lazy and you're a loser.
I wouldn't say I'm a loser, Tom, because you don't know that much about me,
I know what I need to know. Lousy grades in high school because you partied your ass off. Attended a community college because you couldn't get in anywhere else. And whining now because you only got a raise from $7.75 an hour to $8 an hour.
No, I'm not whining.
Why are you satisfied with $8 an hour?
I think, I'm sorry, could you ask that again?
Why are you satisfied with $8 an hour?
Because maybe that's all I need to make right now. Right now, at this moment in time.
No, you need much more than that. Are your parents paying your rent for you?
No, I pay my own.
How much do you pay?
$650 a month.
You split a place with people?
With my cousin.
Right. And let's see, $8 an hour. How many hours do you work?
I work each week anywhere between, 39 to 50 maybe, sometimes.
Average about 40?
Yeah, roughly.
So you make roughly $320 a week.
Yeah, I don't make much. Which is roughly
$16,000 a year, which puts you at the poverty level, son.
I know, but I'm completely content with that. I don't need any more.
Well, then don't be asking for a handout for people. If you're content with it, then shut up.
Right. But I just don't think that I'm
you're not being exploited. You are perfectly fine with where you're at. You're making exactly what you deserve and not a penny less.
And you're right. You're right, Tom. But I think you still have to agree that when a company takes advantage of people, and even of me...
They're not taking advantage of people. You have every right to improve yourself. You have every right to go to school. You have every right to work hard and be something more. But you're too lazy to do it.
I wouldn't say I'm lazy because
I
just finished reading the People's History of the United States, which is over 690 pages. That took me a year and a half to read.
I don't care. I'm not talking about whether you're willing to turn the pages of a book. You are not willing to work.
Work? What are you talking about? I work 9 to 50 hours a week.
Well, guess what? You'd have to work more if you had to go back to school and study and get test grades and pass exams. Ooh. You're not willing to do it because you're a lazy loser. Do you still party?
No, I don't. I haven't smoked weed or drank since March 8th, 2001.
So you're in a 12-step program?
No, I've never been addicted to anything.
So what happened on March 8th, 2001, son?
That was the last drink and the last joint I smoked, and that's. And
Were you prosecuted? Did a judge tell you had to stop? What happened on that day to make you stop?
That was just well, to make a long story short, I used to get really depressed whenever I would do it, but I would always keep doing it. And I said, you know what, this doesn't make me feel good anymore. I'm going to graduate this June. I'm going to be on my own. People aren't going to force me to go to school anymore. I have to make my own decision about that. And this is not going to help. So I'm going to stop doing that, drinking, smoking, partying, and that's what I did. I quit. I've never been in trouble with the law. I've never been prosecuted or in jail or anything. I just decided to better myself by going to school, seeing what that was about. It didn't work for me, so I stopped going.
Yeah, why didn't it work for you?
Just because.
You lazy?
No, I had a 3.2. I was maintaining, I'm not BSing you, I had a 3.2, 3.3. I was maintaining my grades.
You had a 3.2 at a community college. That's not that great.
It's not, but I'm trying to just back up these questions, answers with these questions that you're giving me. I'm not bragging about it. I know, yeah, it's a JC, right? You have every right to accuse me of it's just a JC. But I tried to maintain it. I tried different majors. It didn't work, so I said, screw this. I don't like this system of being indoctrinated with, you're going to go to school, you're going to figure it out. So I just stopped going, and I just decided to travel around the
Why
state.
do you think school is so popular? If school is such a waste of time, why do so many people take such risks to go? Why do people come here from other countries like Cambodia or South Vietnam or Korea? Why do people come from so far away so they can go to school? Are they all stupid? Are they all dumber than you are?
I wouldn't say they're stupid.
They come here not even speaking English. They come here. They master our language. They master our culture. They go to schools and they get higher grades than we do. Higher test scores. Is that because they're stupid?
No, it's because they came from really poverty-stricken places, and they're that much more motivated than...
Son, that's where you are now.
Well, you're comparing me to like a non-speaking...
You are in poverty right now.
But I'm completely content with that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Then don't complain when people pay you $8 an hour. You're completely content.
But I think I'm content. That's fine.
Great.
I'm discontent when
Shine my shoes, son. Paper or plastic? Don't forget to check my fluids after you're done washing my windshield.
What color do you want, the pink one or the blue one?
I think you already know a lot about this.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. At 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. This all started with an article about payday loans. Oh, yeah. Some states have banned them. Some people think that we need to protect the poor slobs who get these payday loans, who are just a bunch of losers anyway. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Madeline on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Yeah, hi. I've been listening for years, and I picked up the tail end of this conversation, and like most of them, it's entertaining and interesting. And I have a view on the matter I'd like to share. I'm also curious to know what yours is, Tom. I didn't realize how much it bothered me until I relocated from the East Coast about 8 to 10 years ago to get my undergrad at USC. And I thought, I'll be in a melting pot. I'll have a market of different cultures and ethnicities, and I'll get to share and learn. Well, we still managed to have these barriers across Orange County, and I didn't realize how much some of the stereotypes held true. And it does bother me that I work hard and pay taxes, and it's going to places that I'd rather not see it go. I just feel like we've lost our patriotism. We've lost America. Am I out of line?
I don't know. You have to tell me.
Nothing's out of line.
You asked me if you're on the line. I don't know. Are you on the line?
I'm on the line.
All right. Very good.
I just, I like I said, I caught the tail end of the conversation, and I was thinking about all of the foreigners that were coming to the States with the, and succeeding at our jobs and working for less, but basically outsourcing and attrition.
Well, outsourcing is not the same as people coming to this country and succeeding here. The outsourcing goes on in other countries.
No, you know what? You're absolutely right. I resent when American jobs are lost or replaced by non-native born. And it's not because they weren't born here. It's because they're speaking Spanish. And I was just wondering what happened.
Well, you do understand, first of all, that most of the outsourcing that happens to this country is not to Latin America or Mexico or Spain.
Right.
It is to India and Pakistan and Singapore and places like that.
Shukriya, Tom. Shukriya. That's Hindi for thank you. No, I hear what you're saying, and I think it's widespread. I just know it's not happening inside our borders, and I never considered myself a racist person.
Have you applied for any fruit? By the way, have you applied for any fruit-picking jobs that have been turned down recently?
Point taken. Point taken. So what was the caller before complaining about them?
Which caller? Which one?
The one that said, do you want pink or blue washer fluid when he's wiping down your car?
Oh, he's complaining because the man is putting his thumb down and exploiting him, paying him only $8 an hour.
Is he educated? Okay.
Oh, no. You didn't hear his story. He smoked weed in high school, which I guessed just by talking to him. The result was that he didn't have good enough grades to get into a decent college, so he went to a junior college, then dropped out of that, and decided he was perfectly content making minimum wage, but he still thinks it's wrong that he can be exploited this way.
What would the state of our country be if everybody had that education level? And is he employed?
Did you see who the president is? I think more have that educational level than you think.
He always has. Hey, thanks for listening.
Thank you. Appreciate the call. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello. Look at these calls coming in. Wow. Let's say hello here to Brian on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Oh, man, I'm feeling great, and I just want to speak up for the rest of the world that Ryan's an idiot. Wasn't that the gentleman's name who has no education, has no skills, has no qualification yet?
And no ambition.
Yeah, I want a $50,000 a year with no education and no experience, too.
Of course, if everybody got $50,000 a year, that would become the minimum wage, and then nobody would be worth $50,000 wouldn't be worth what it's worth.
That's what I was going to say. Then they'd all just complain about that as well, wouldn't they?
That's right.
There's got to be something. There's got to be something. Hey, Tom, I got to chime in on this whole, this payday loan jazz that you're talking about, and the government people saying they should regulate it. I work for a bank, and I manage a bank actually, and banks are getting into it, and this is what I have to say about it is that, there's a reason why there's a market for these people, and if they can't keep their credit good, if they can't, manage their finances any better, of course someone's going to exploit them. They put themselves in a position to be exploited. If there was no market for it, the product wouldn't exist.
Well, that's right.
Just flat out. And so my comment to that is, if there are people out there who are smart, who get educated about their finances, who take out lines of credit and home equities and purchase homes and vehicles, and there's a lot worse going on in our world right now than dealing with people that are too dumb to get their finances together, and so they have to pay 300% interest rates.
By the way, everybody is exploited. It just depends on to what degree. I'm being exploited. I guarantee you that whatever I'm making to talk to you is a lot less than the company is making hiring me and paying me to talk to you.
Of course.
That's how exploitation works.
It's called capitalism.
That's what it is.
There's someone working right there in the studio next to you who doesn't make a shadow of what you make, but they're probably not standing around complaining about their wage because they're not the guy standing on the mic making, calling the shots.
And then if you want to live in a socialist country, sure, go to Cuba, where the average person makes, and I'm not making this up, the average person makes $9 a month.
Well, my comment on all these guys and, people, guys like Ryan who call in that, don't think about what they have to say before they call in is, if you work hard, if you put yourself to it, you'll get to where you're going. You get what you're worth. There's nobody in this country who makes less than what they're worth. If you're sitting there making $8 an hour, you're getting paid what you're worth. There's no other way to put it, Tom. I got to say that I started working at the bank that I'm working at, making $10 an hour, and worked my way up to a branch manager spot. Worked my tail off, and I just got to say that it can happen to anybody. It takes hard work, and you can't just sit around and bellyache about making your $8 an hour and hope the government raises the minimum wage.
I'll take it a step further. Everybody listening to this program is making exactly what they're worth.
Got that right. Hey, Tom, that's all I got to say. It's a pleasure. Thanks for making my Monday. Can I get taken out O'Reilly style?
Bill O'Reilly style.
Yeah, I got to hear it.
I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
1-800-5800-TOM. By the way, the Factor for Kids, available at Amazon.com. Let Bill O'Reilly raise your children. That's right. 1-800-5800-TOM. Armando on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. Just wanted to say that I disagree with you about helping out some of these people with their predicaments regarding these payday loans. The only reason why I'm saying is because, by your logic, not helping them out because they're stupid and not looking into their predicaments before they get into them, why don't you just take away seatbelt laws, too, while you're at it, or take away helmet laws for motorcycles? Well,
funny you should mention that. As a libertarian that I am, a liberal libertarian, but a libertarian, I was opposed to seatbelt laws and helmet laws. I believe that whether or not you use a seatbelt or a helmet should be the business of you and your insurance company, and that's it. The government should not be getting involved, and the police should not be able to pull you over for those things. And let's add into that new hands-free cell phone law that we have in California.
Yeah, but think about how many lives have been saved. And I'm not trying to compare, seatbelt laws to...
Honestly, I'm in favor of social Darwinism. If someone is stupid enough to ride a motorcycle without a helmet, there are no big laws.
I understand what you're saying about natural selection, but I'm not I'm trying to compare saving somebody's life to saving somebody's economic standpoint. I'm trying to say that people are duped every day into doing something stupid.
They're not even duped. They know how much they're paid. They know how much the interest is. You know how they know? Because if you borrow, as I said earlier, if you borrow $200, they take the interest right off the top. They only give you $160.
Yeah, I know, but if you eliminate the carrot from the stick, maybe you wouldn't have people filing for bankruptcy. Maybe you wouldn't have homeless kids.
These are the people who are such deadbeats they can't even get a loan at a bank. That's who gets a payday loan, for God's sake.
The Tom Leykis Show.